Welcome back, guys. We're going to now kick it off to our on-the-spot correspondents, Roman and Gabe, who are reviewing The Night Comes for Us.
Hey everybody, I'm Gabe.
I'm Roman, and we will be reviewing The Night Comes for Us. Let's take a look at the trailer.
3 tahun gue jadi mesin pembunuh mereka. Nggak kehitung pembantahan yang udah gue lakuin. Kalau lo sudah dilantik menjadi seorang seksis, hukumnya mutlak. Jangan pernah mengampuni. Tapi di saat itulah gue melihat satu kehidupan kecil yang sudah di ujung tanduk. Mungkin aja gue bisa merubah takdir gue.
Gue gak ngira akan berakhir kayak gini tuh.
Apa yang gue lakuin sekarang? Ya harusnya gue lakuin dari dulu.
Berani banget lo ngomong kayak gitu. Mending lo siap-siap sekarang.
Hanya bisa rencana hidup ini, kan? Tapi kita nggak pernah tahu di mana posisi kita akhirnya. Semua berakhir sekarang.
So, Gabe, if you had one word to describe this movie, what would you choose?
Can I give you 3 words?
Sure.
Murder, death, kill. This movie is gory, violent, martial arts goodness. One word, how would you describe it?
I was going to say gory, but
Yeah.
I think murder, I think if you use like a hyphen, murder, death, kill is actually a much better like compound word, because I truly think if you look at the runtime of this movie, there is more fight scene than there is dialogue.
Yeah, 100%.
They go for it 100%.
This is not a narrative film, and if you want a narrative film, turn this movie off. This is not The Last Samurai. This isn't Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. This was made for fans of the Raid 2 Redemption. If that's the kind of martial arts movie you like, this movie is going to give you everything you want, because it's not an interconnected narrative. It's a fight scene with like a little bit of a story woven in, and it's kind of an underbaked story, but I don't care, because this movie isn't a story. It's like a video game that you're not playing, you're watching. That's so good.
Yeah, it's exactly what you want if you're the kind of person that your favorite part of a good action movie is the fight scene. Because we've seen other movies that have like kind of tried to do this, like let's just cut out all the BS and just go straight fight scene, and it doesn't always work all the time. So it's not to say that, like, you know, this movie like copped out or something. It absolutely didn't, because I think we saw in John Wick 3, we saw a movie that tried to be just like a series of fight scenes, and I personally felt kind of tired out by about the midway point. This just stays high. You don't feel tired.
This movie is like the video game Doom, in the sense that like it gets into your bloodstream, heavy metal starts playing, and you are in the entire time. Like, you are not going to feel tired watching this movie. You're going to feel like sympathy for people who have broken bones and they're mangled, but like, you are just wired in this movie.
And I gotta say, you bring up mangled, this is probably a top 5 most violent movie I've ever seen.
Yes.
The gore, the carnage, the shredding people to pieces in this movie. There is not an object in the universe that wasn't used as a weapon to kill someone in this movie. I mean, it goes to a 10.5 with the violence in here, and it gets. I mean, there were fight scenes that were so gory, I was laughing out loud because they just went so over the top, and it's glorious.
Yeah, see, I don't love it when it's just gunfight. Like, the John Wick movies, and a lot of the John Woo movies, actually, who's one of my favorite directors. A lot of it's just gunfight fight scenes. This movie, you don't have to worry about that. There's pool balls used as weapons, hammers, buzzsaws, chainsaws, knives, machetes, a window, other people, an air conditioner at a certain point.
And my favorite weapon, this like yo-yo of doom. That thing is awesome.
There's so many weapons in this movie. And phone books. They use phone books as weapons. And so it's just so creative. And more than just creative, the fight choreography in this movie. This movie was choreographed by two masters of Pencak Silat, which is Indonesia's national martial arts. It's very similar to Muay Thai, using a lot of elbows, a lot of knee strikes, and those guys also play our two main characters, Joe Taslim and Iko Uwais. Joe Taslim is becoming a lot more popular on a national scale because he played Sub-Zero in the new Mortal Kombat, and Iko Uwais, who is our villain of the movie, is playing the villain of Expendables 4. So I'm very excited about that because he's a martial arts genius.
Yeah, these actors do just a fantastic job. I mean, they sell everything. They're so gifted, action actors. And another thing that's really, really praiseworthy in this movie is these fight scenes are filmed fantastically.
Yes,
you don't have any of this shaky cam stuff where you can't see what's going on.
And
you don't have
no cutaways on impact.
no cutaways on impact. None of this dark lighting so you can't see what's going on. You see the impact. You see what's going on. You see the strategy the characters are taking. And it's great. One thing that you should be ready for heading into this movie is these characters may as well be superheroes.
Yep.
I mean, people are going to take some injuries that are just unsustainable.
There's particularly one scene where a clip of an Uzi is emptied into a man's chest, and he unzips his hoodie, and there's a wet floor sign. And somehow that was enough shielding to protect that man from a clip full of bullets. But you're like, I don't care at all, because like I'm cheering for this guy the entire time.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it is completely dialed up to 11, completely intentional, on the nose, and there's just if you enjoy a good fight scene, there is nothing not to like about what you have here. I do have to say the one drawback of the movie though is the plot gets to a point where I'm not going to necessarily criticize the plot because it's not really what they were going for.
It's an afterthought.
It's an afterthought,
Yeah.
and it gets to the point of when they're explaining things in the plot, it's kind of your bathroom break. It's like they're explaining how and why characters are doing things, and I personally was like, I don't really care.
There's ways that the plot works because it's like, oh, this guy is one of the best hitmen for this, like the cartel. So like it gives credence to how he's so powerful, but then it becomes like John Wick because there's protecting this girl. And then there's all this drama, but we talked about the good and we talked about the plot because that's really the only bad. I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10. It is gory, blood-soaked carnage, an excellent martial arts movie, and it's everything you want from that kind of movie.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. For me, it's an 8.5 out of 10.
Why would you give it an 8.5 out of 10? This movie is a 9.
Why do you not respect my 8.5 out of 10? I think
Listen,
we can take
you
this
don't want this
outside.
fight. You don't want this
No,
fight.
it's going to get down.
We'll be right back after this.
That's all for this week. If you want to follow more Review Crew content, go to the Review Crew Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, as well as Orange TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and YouTube.
Find the Review Crew's podcast on Spotify or on our website at orangetvnetwork.syr.edu, where you can also find our blog and more OTN information.
Check out this week's screening hosted by University Union, Scream. Also, be sure to check out Friday Night Movie Night on OTN. This week's movies are Teenagers from Outer Space, Plan 9 from Outer Space, and The Gold Rush.
See you next week.